What time are you doing your 10,000 hours? At what point do you become a master at something? What is it that people can trust you with within the next 5 to 7 years to say, within our sleep, Thembi can take care of this part of the world? So where do you stand at the end of the day? So which is why I was like, nope, do not call me an entrepreneur until I became the dictionary definition of the word itself. My name is Thembile Gola. I am the founder and CEO of Bodied, Zimbabwe. So Bodied is essentially a lingerie and loungewear brand, something that I started working on, say, about 1.5 years ago. How it started, I literally was in my room, I remember, and I was packing my wardrobe. I was like redoing everything, and then I realized I was out of lingerie. I was like, oh cool, I need more lingerie. And then I thought about, where do I get it locally? And then I was blank, like I was completely blank. And it meant I had to wait to travel to get it, and this was COVID had started by then also, or I had to buy out of the country and pay for shipping that's way more than the actual product, and that made me very angry. I was just like, why do we not deserve a brand that we can trust, a brand that we can rely on to provide us with quality and luxury pieces that we can confidently wear and trust throughout? And then that's when it hit me, why don't you do it? Sorry, the 21-day lockdown, the very initial one that we had, that I was thinking about all of this. I was like, okay, I'm at home, I don't want to wear jeans. At the same time, I don't want to be naked. So what's the in-between, right? The in-between that leaves you looking great, feeling great, and leaves you comfortable at the end of the day. That's when I decided to combine the lingerie with loungewear to go with. We were launching an online shop, and this was in the middle of COVID, where gatherings weren't allowed and everything. We decided it's going to be an online launch. So we went over the entire process like 1,000,000 times with my team, and then I had like a seriously amazing person as our social media manager. Her name is Tinashe. And I remember we talked about it months and months before the actual launch. We had numerous meetings, we had numerous sessions, and back to back with documents, back and forth with conversations and models and everything. So I remember the first thing that we did, she created material for a countdown, and we were literally like a small group. It's me and about 4 other people within the core team, and the models, the different ladies that decided to model with us. And yeah, and then we have a little group on WhatsApp, just like everything else. We she gave us a countdown material, and we started counting down like a week before the 1st of April. So you could tell people were like confused. What is this? Bodied, 7 days to go. And then it went on. So we opened our pages, but within the first 24 hours, we had about 100 followers on our page. I'm like, the page is empty. There's nothing on that page except 7 days to go, right? And then we went on. By the time we got on to 3 days, people had joined into the countdown altogether. It was a whole little frenzy on Instagram and Facebook. People were asking questions. Who is this? What is this? What's going on? And we kept counting down. By the time we got to the last day, like we were well into 400 followers, and this is still on an empty page. And I was like, oh, okay. They definitely see something that I probably don't see as yet. And I was surprised. I was really taken aback. The entire process for me was humbling, because I was like in my head, slow growth, eventual growth. It takes time for people to trust and everything like that. And then on the 1st of April, we dropped our brand introduction video. That was epic. That was actually epic. I remember the night before we shared it with our team, because it's only me and the guys that were doing our visuals that had seen them, right? So we were just sitting on this content for months, by the way. It was just there in our computers and our files. And then we shared the video in the group so that people can then share it as the countdown was coming to an end. And people were blown away. I remember that evening, everyone was like, wow, okay, okay, we understand. And even the models, I hadn't gotten to see it. And then I knew the next day was going to be like top tier. So fast forward April 1st at around 10 o'clock, we put out the video. It made such serious waves. Like it was actually just so beautiful. Everyone was just like, okay, we understand what the hype was about. And I remember sitting at my office, and then I was just weak, but weak in a good way. In a very good way. I was just like, oh wow, they like it, because you're always nervous, and self-doubt kicks in when you're like, okay, what if people don't like it? What if it's too much of this or too much of that? But it was so well received. I remember at some point we got a lot of feedback, from people who posted it from their personal accounts and our own accounts to say, okay, what you've done is amazing. You've really like helped us understand or see ourselves in a better light. Helped me accept my body, my shape, whatever I am, as beautiful as it is. I am what I am because I should be what I am. To this day, sometimes when it gets tough or when things don't make sense, I go back to that very first post, that very first video on our Instagram page, and I literally just go through the comments, and then, I get my mind back together. For me, I felt like there's not enough celebration of womanhood. A lot of the times when we're portrayed as females, it's because there's one against another, or it's a cat fight of some kind. There's one talking down another. I felt like versus the negative, there's not enough positive imagery and positive wording around being female, being a woman, and everything about femininity at the end of the day, which is why I decided that this is going to be more than just retail. It's going to be like the celebration of womanhood as a whole. It's going to be about kindness, it's going to be about sharing experiences and connectedness, because ultimately, in as much as we're black, white, yellow, slim, tall, dark, plus size, at the end of the day as females, there's certain things that we can relate to across the board, and we're not saying enough of that at the end of the day. So I wanted Bodied to be a place where women feel safe to be vulnerable, women feel safe to be kind to each other, where telling another woman that she's beautiful doesn't mean weakness or doesn't mean anything negative, but it's just that, right? Acknowledging that you're just trying to uplift the next female next to you. So it's that is definitely a message that's close to my heart, and I am glad that it was received the way it was, and our audience fell in love with it. And we put so much work into it. Our visuals had to literally portray the messages, and it was about buying into people's hearts before getting into their wallets. If I'm being very honest, I've always hated the word entrepreneur. Hate with a passion. Hate is a strong word, and I'm using it. I hated the word entrepreneur, especially in our Zimbabwean context. Why? Because it seemed like everyone was an entrepreneur, which is not a bad thing. But the thing is, it's not about actually building business, building integrity, building a track record. It's not about building momentum. It's about what makes money in that moment. Today, I'm a Forex trader. The next day, I'm selling fuel. The next day, I'm selling cars. A month later, I'm selling furniture. There's no common thread. There's no drive. It's not about longevity at the end of the day. It's about the next quick buck. And I was like, honestly, that cannot be what an entrepreneur. If that's what it is, then I don't want to be one. That was where my mind was for a long time. They've been fairly invested in the process as well. When I need to go out and do stuff, they definitely understand. And I think it's been interesting for them to watch. I haven't really gotten their point of view over the past almost 2 years now. But because they've gotten to see the behind the scenes firsthand, all the sleepless nights, all the toils, all the turmoil, the drama, the nice things and stuff like that. So but they've been great, and they've been willing to help, you know, asking how it's going and stuff like that. So yeah, it was too late for them to disapprove anyway. Well, I would say to anyone watching this, be patient with yourself. I know we're always on the rush. It's Harare. You can't afford to rest. You can't afford to calm down. But I would say be patient with yourself. A lot of the time, when once you have it, once you know what it is, the noise and the confusion goes away. I always say that with God, there's no confusion. With God, there's a lot of peace. And in as much as you, when you get to a point where you know what it is you want to do, it will not matter how much you have in your wallet. It will not matter how much you get at the end of the month. And like, don't underestimate whatever salary that you have. It actually can do wonders for whatever it is you're trying to achieve. So I would say, number one, be patient with yourself. Do not hop onto the next bandwagon, because that's what everyone else is doing. Wait for your peace. I would say give your spirit a chance. Give your intuition a chance to speak. A lot of the times we're watching so many things, we're seeing so many things, we're listening to so many things, but to be fair, you haven't given your spirit a chance to lead you, to speak to you, to convict you, to help you like notice the different things around you that are little winks from heaven, you know. So I would say definitely be patient with yourself, and once you find it, work as hard as you can. The old myth is true. Hard work does pay off, you know. And once you're walking in the path that you're supposed to, the universe has a way of just responding. The universe has a way of working with you. At the end of the day, if you're not true to what it is that is your passion, if you're not true to what it is exactly that you enjoy doing, that you can do in your sleep, that you can do even when the weather is like at 0 degrees, you're robbing the world of your gift. You're robbing us of the chance to enjoy what it is that you have to offer in this world, you know, because of everyone else at the end of the day. So I would say be patient with yourself. Noise and confusion, it'll go away once you find it. And give your spirit a chance, give yourself a chance, and you will slowly learn about what it is you want to do. And you might find that you're already doing it in one way or the other, but it feels small to you. So give yourself a chance and be patient with yourself. Yeah.